Dining out? Yay!
Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. The Panthers on a prowl will continue driving down the field to the red zone. We just got a first down and 10. Smitty on the loose, wide open Ted again. Stack 6 more on the board, looking like a win. With the 6-game winning streak, put them out their misery. Brady wanna cry when the ref threw the penalty. Panthers got a hot team, Patriots the enemy. Draw the first blood, different team than we used to be. Cam swerving through the traffic, signaling a first down. Fans on their feet and the crowd getting really loud. Offense did a job off the field. There's the towel. Bank of America. Stadium is going down. Defense got him pushed back to the end zone. Hardy with the sack. That's a safety and we got the ball. Rushing on your shotgun. Staring at the barrel, y'all. All New England fans hear him saying that ain't fair at all. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Better watch the linebacker, he can read you like a book. Run 40 yards just to tackle Luke. Got him shook, Tolbert like a tank. And D'Angelo with the fake. Stiff farm, out of bounds, 25 to game. Stewart back, healthy 3 lethal running backs. It's suicide, add the wide receivers, it's a route. Secret weapon, make plays, Greg Olsen make it happen. Keep pounding on these haters, we ain't playing John Madden. Legion of the who? Hometown go boom. Force and fumbles, Panthers making sure the ball is loose. Jack move, Charles Johnson, yeah, he will come attack you. State of mind, mentally and physically, we pass you. Godfrey in the nickel back, and he making sure we're safe. Panthers on the prowl, we gon' come and elevate the state. Hard fought thriller, only 59 seconds left. Panther fans on the feet, heart beating out the chest. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina.
What's up, everybody? Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select a like, comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding it all caps for in-game post polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, such as scheduling for the channel and for the other sports app. Keep pounding Fantasy Football League. If you like the screen that you see right there, the intro, go check out Lindara Ty on Instagram using her first name first. Her last name first, Lindara Ty. So it's tai.lindara, Lindara, for videos, panels, etc. to enhance your streaming content creation experience. Once again, that's Lindara Ty on Instagram. Fair pricing, awesome to work with, and just awesome in general. Go check out Vinny's Pizza out in Duluth, Georgia, out in Dirty Bird territory. Right next to the arena. Best pizza out there in the southeast. Don't just take my word for it. Try it yourself. Go check out Monster Shove and Grub out in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The owner is a Panthers fan. He will hook you up with a tasty sub. You got to pay for it, of course, but go check him out anyway, man. And shout out to all the other YouTubers out there doing their thing. Panthers YouTubers and podcasters. We've got 2020. We've got C3 Podcast. We've got Pat Coltrane. We've got Big Cat out there with the Roar. 1995, the Roar. You know, we've got the Bleeding Blue podcast. I always get that mixed up. Okay. Carolina Bleeding Blue Panther podcast. I think that's what it was. I always get those words mixed up. But, hey, it's Mr. Carolina. Go give him a shout out. Go say hi. And, of course, Blitzball Champ under our umbrella of streamers. Tell him we said hi. Whenever he's live. And tell him we sent you. But he was supposed to join us tonight, but he's not feeling well. So we're going to get this preview off the ground and running. We officially have our first game of NFL football. I don't care if it's preseason, it's football. For the first time in months. Let's get it popping. Hall of Fame game. Panthers versus Cardinals. Let's get it, ladies and gents. If you're as excited as I am, hit that like button and keep pounding in the chat. Please. So let's do this. They have officially released the depth chart for this game about 4 or 5 days before. So we're going to take a look at that. Kenny Pickett will be starting this game. And we're going to get this info on the screen for you. There you go. All right. I am told Blitz will be feeling better tomorrow night. So he'll be reacting with me tomorrow night for the game. Starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you are there and ready to go for that. Alright, the depth chart should be so here is how to tune in to the game We got Chris Collinsworth down here. We got Mike Tricio and Melissa Stark, of course, doing their thing. They always do the Hall of Fame game. I might have mispronounced those names, but whatever, you know. On the play calling, we've got Kurt Coleman in the house as an analyst. I'm always excited to hear what he has to say. That's pretty cool. Panthers Radio Network will begin airing at 5. So I'm assuming that means that Luke Kuechly is going to get honored on the field as far as Hall of Fame stuff. So here we go. Apps and social media. So if you are in the Charlotte market, go here for a list of the affiliate stations, full list of them in the news section. Look for the gold how to tune in here in the news section of the Panthers website or app. And that will tell you, and go to listen live section here, and it'll give you this whole list. Game day coverage, Panther Talk, and there you go. Different states, different affiliates. So if you are listening from, say, let's say Charlotte, right? Well, there's Rock Hill. You got 107.1. So you got all of these here. Just go on this list. Go check it out. If you want to listen to it on the radio. 99.7 is Charlotte. If you want to check it out there. Say you're in Raleigh. Let's see. Raleigh would be 101.5. There you go. So we got Anish handling the play-by-play, voice of the Panthers. Love this dude. I mean, I love his interviews. I love his personality. I enjoy listening to him. You know, he's a very intelligent gentleman. So, go check him out. All right. Oh. That is not what we are looking for. We are looking for the injury report. Let's go check that out. Nothing so far except for the stuff that we already know about in training camp, which is the players that are already out for the year and the ones on the PUP list. So, we've got Chris Brazel on the IR. We signed a tight end. We added another wide receiver to supplement Brad Brazel. Chris Brazel, my bad. We brought in Casey Washington on Wednesday. We activated Bobby Brown for the NFI list. So, looking forward to seeing Bobby Brown out there. We're going to get some reps from him. We are fully fledged hoping to see Luke Kuechly added to the Hall of Honor for the Panthers. I want to see it happen. You want to see it happen. We all want to see it happen. So, make it happen, y'all. Make it happen. Luke Kuechly needs to go on there. So does Greg Olsen and Thomas Davis. So let's see that happen, guys. All right, training camp. The game is in 19 hours and 55 minutes from now. So, who's ready, man? Who's ready? Sorry, just had to kill a bug on my screen there. All right. Fully functional and ready. Let's go. Let's see. So yeah, so we brought in Jake Curran. XL will be evaluated, but he had a concussion scare earlier this week. Thankfully, he was not in a concussion situation, but he cleared a concussion protocol. But very scary situation. He landed on his head, and we had to put him through the usual concussion protocol to make sure that he was all right. Let's see. I did see the listing about Luke Kuechly and his playbooks and whatnot. And his preparation and all that. So we'll go over that in the FanFest reaction stream, which I have again promised that I would do. But I mean, it's just everything has popped up lately to where we have not been able to do that. So, let's take a look at the team. Shall we? I think most of these guys you already know. Tyreek Funderburk is from Appalachian State. We just acquired him this offseason. So that's a new name for everybody. To Carlos Nicholson, that's a new name from the Trojans, University of Southern Cal. Devonta Smith is a new name for people that have been around here since last year. Elijah Garcia from Rice. So you're going to see a lot of these newer guys that haven't really hit the field, that are more so practice squad guys, get more reps. Jackson Kuwach is a new one. But we're also expecting players like Bam Martin Scott to make some big plays. They've been in the system for 2 years, and have now learned it and have gotten accustomed to it. So we will see how things roll with that. But overall, Kenny Pickett, I mean, from what I've seen, let's go in that direction with the conversation, because I like his mechanics, I like his footwork, his passing ability, his hip turning. I'm happy with what I'm looking at, with him being a second string quarterback. I think we've got a solid guy. I think we made a wise decision signing him. So, with that being said, Jonathan Brooks will be back, so I'm excited about that. Most of these guys are just picking up right where they left off last year, which makes me very happy. They went through vigorous offseason routines and exercises to prepare for this. I'm not sure who Shaman Mitayari is. I have no idea who this dude is from my Arizona State. That's a new name for me. We must have just signed him. So I think with Brazil going down with that injury, we are going to be looking at a battle between Mechie, Jasim Reed, and David Moore for that spot. And Bryson Tremaine might enter into that. So I'm really looking forward to that wide receiver battle because it's wide open right now. Now, why is Jasim Reed in that battle? From what we've heard, he could play all different wide receiver spots. And he's very reliable as a pass catcher. He's consistent. He can do a lot of the things you're asking him to do. And I got to look at him in a uniform, but I didn't get a chance to see him like really catch any passes on routes or anything. So I was hoping that I would get to see more than just one catch, and really get to see him stretch out his wings and show us, why Dave Canales was hyping him up so much. Why are people so interested in this dude? I want to find out. So I got to look at one of the clips yesterday, and I have to say, I like him. I like him a lot. It's just one clip, but, it's an early look, at a guy that could have a lot of potential if the coaching staff is correct about this dude. Which, generally, me and the coaching staff have been on the same page for a couple of years now. So, if that is the truth about what they're saying, and I do trust them, and I hope you guys do too, so far, because they have no reason why we should distrust them, except for maybe Brad Isaac or Dave Canales on play calling. At this point, like, we have zero reason to distrust this coaching staff. So when they say they vouch for a player, and they're promoting him, 99 times out of 100, that player is doing exactly what they say they are doing. So, but I need a little bit more of a look at some of these guys myself just to see what we're doing with as a whole. I think this is going to be a very interesting set of battles at these critical positions. And as I've said before, you either want it or you don't. You're either hungry enough for it or you're not as a player going into training camp, preseason, and these practices. Ahead of the 53, you either want it or you don't. Because there's at least 50 other players behind you trying to get to the exact same place you are. So, you're either trying to stay alive on that 53, you're either retaining a spot if you're a veteran, or you are fighting for a spot if you're a newcomer or a rookie. And then there's those that just don't match what we're looking for. So, y'all tell me, as players, which one of those are you? I want to know. We're going to find out together. Because now we have 4 games in the preseason instead of the usual 3. And it becomes even more critical that we get this right. Like, we have zero excuse not to have the best 53-man roster this year that we could possibly get. So, with Dan Morgan running the show, signing people, Dave Canales running the depth chart, and our players determining where their future and their fate on this team, you got zero excuse not to show up, do your job, and get it done. So, I like all of what we did moves-wise. You know, we're properly set up, especially that offensive line. I like every aspect. We will not have Nick Scorton. We will not have Chris Brazel. And we will not have Taylor Moton for this game. Now, let's talk about them Arizona Cardinals. Well. We got to see if they put out the depth chart. Yes, they have. All right. So let's look through this depth chart real quick before we move on to the Cardinals. Let's see what they've given us. At quarterback, Bryce Young, Kenny Pickett, Haynes King. And I like that. Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks, Trevor Etienne ahead of A.J. Dillon. Which I heard they're putting A.J. Dillon into kick and punt returns. So, be aware of that. They're having him work with them. They did give A.J. Dillon a couple of reps during FanFest. So, do be aware of that. So, if you see him behind center, don't be surprised, in the fourth quarter. All right, so T-Mac, Jimmy Horn, Bryson Tremaine, Malik Malega. For this wide receiver set. And I'm surprised to see Jimmy Horn actually beat out Bryson here. I'm surprised to see that. I don't know. What's the point of that? For what reason? I understand you want to keep Jimmy on this roster, and I understand why. 1,000,000% I understand why. But ahead of Bryson, I think that might be a little bit. I think that's a little too soon to put him over Bryson. I have seen that Jimmy has been working. He's been pushing himself this offseason, but is he better than Bryson right now? Gonna have to say no. But depends on the use. You know what I mean? Depends on the use of them. Because again, Jimmy Horn is more of that acceleration from 0 to 100 acceleration guy. It takes time for him to get accelerated, but once he does, he is fast as lightning. So, and he's reliable. So you got him on screens, you got him on counters, you got him on stuff like that. So yeah, Jimmy Horn is a very reliable player. So, am I surprised to see that on the depth chart? Slightly. Am I bothered by it? No. Jalen Coker, John Mechie, Casey Washington, Elijah Cooks. Now, here's the big debate I think a lot of people are probably going to want to have right here. After this preseason game, is Casey Washington better than John Mechie? And I'm going to say no. Arguably, no. I've seen what Mechie can do. I've seen how he plays. I've seen his style. You know, I honestly, I gotta say Mechie's a little bit better. Elijah Cooks is one guy I'm interested in learning more about. I've heard the name, I've seen a couple of clips, but I want to learn more about you. Let's see how you handle a game time situation, my man. You know, because this is your second season in the NFL. You know, I want to know who you are as a Panther. You know, can you do the stuff you were doing last year? So that very much interests me. XL, David Moore, Jasheem Reed, Rock Taylor. Now, I'll say this. I like David Moore. I like what he brings to the table in the locker room and the community and, you know, team chemistry. But Jasheem Reed is making a case, man. He's making a case. He's coming for that second spot, David. That's all I'm going to say right now. Be aware, my man. You've been on this roster for a while now. You got yourself comfortable. But now you got somebody new coming after you. Be aware. And Reed is hungry too. Yeah, I better. I'm trying to tell you, man. These younger and younger guys, man, they come in hungry and wanting those spots. You better be on your A game, crossing your T's and dotting your I's if you are a vet on this team. Of 2 or more years if you're not a starter. Because that puts you in immediate danger on this depth chart. And these rooks don't play, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. They don't play. Alright, so Tommy Tremble, Sanders, Mitchell Evans, Felipe Franks. I'm still not sure what we're doing with Felipe Franks at this point. Like, somebody enlighten me. Is he just supposed to be another blocking tight end that does special teams? Like, I'm still not sure what he's doing on this roster. Like, I had him as like a 4-string / practice squad guy, which is exactly where he is. You know, we've got 3 good tight ends. I think somebody in my team chat somewhere said that we run on like 4 tight ends or whatever on game day, or 3, and one of them's just a blocking man. Which I think if you're going into a regular season game, that would be Mitchell Evans, right? Plus, we didn't have Sanders, you know, for a small stretch as well, you know. So we'll see how that goes. Icky is, he has the out status here. So we are putting him freely. Excuse me, it's late night. You get used to it. Uh, Rasheed Walker and then Stone. So I see that Rasheed Walker has now beat out Stone for that third spot. When I heard earlier that Stone was going to get that third spot. So it looks like a battle going on right there between Walker and Mr. Walker and Mr. Forst. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to see what happens there. Left guard, we got Damian Lewis, we got Shadeed Charles. At center, we got Luke Fortner, we got Sam Height, and Nick Samak. Which, I mean, Nick Samak was third string borderline practice squad last year. So that's not a new name for people. He's been around here. We just haven't activated him. Robert Hunt, Brady Christensen, Chandler Zavala, Jake Curran. I'm pretty pleased with that right guard room right there. That looks real good. Brady Christensen, you can just plop in wherever you need him, plug him in, and he'll handle business, you know? So if you need him somewhere else, we could put him somewhere else. Taylor Moton is out, so Monroe Freeling will start. Brady Christensen will probably be the second string, and then Albert Reese the fourth. I'm not familiar with Albert Reese the fourth, so let's find out who this dude is. Offensive tackle. We've been signing offensive linemen like crazy this offseason. 6'7". Good lord, he's a basketball height, man. 330 from Mississippi State, and is a rookie. Okay. From Edmonton, Alberta. Wow. Okay. Edmonton, huh? Cool. All right, so that's our offensive line depth. And for the first time ever, like, I feel like we've got solid depth. And God, is that a beautiful thing. If you're a Panthers fan and you've been waiting for this to happen, like, this is your Christmas present on New Year's Eve. On Christmas Day, man. Just seeing this right here is just absolutely phenomenal. This is what I had in mind when we envisioned this offensive line. Like, fully decked out depth to where you don't lose much talent as you go down the pecking order. So when we're in live games during regular season and we lose players like Taylor Moton, or Icky, like, we don't lose much talent going down that list and going next man up. And I think we're using KC's model on that one. We're using Seattle's model on that one. Both have been exceptional at doing that in the NFL with their depth charts. To where you never see any break in protection or issues with blocking. They'll go second, third, fourth on down the list, and these guys are just phenomenal blockers. They draft well, they sign well, and they just know what they're doing. And that's what we want to become too with our offensive line. So, defense, let's go. Derek Brown is back and handling business. You got Elijah Garcia, you got Aaron Hall, Tyrone Maroon Jr. in fourth. Bobby Brown, the nose tackle, Lee Hunter, Cam Jackson, And I've been hearing a lot of great things about Cam Jackson this training camp so far. I hope I continue to hear great things. What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing, man? Tashawn Wharton will be out. So you got Jared Harrison Hunter, Kyron Barnes, and Parker Peterson. Now, I don't know anything about Parker Peterson. Sounds like Peter Parker of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So let's find out who this dude is. 6'4", 315 pounds from Wisconsin. Oh, yeah. He's a big boy. We got a big hog molly right here in Parker Peterson. Okay. I've been hearing good things about Jared Harrison Hunter as well. I saw him make a play in the Hall of Fame game. Real impressed with him. Let me read this message. You ready for some Carolina Panthers football today with the Arizona Cardinals? I'm hyped up for that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We all hyped up for this. Our first game for what? 4 months? 4 or 5 months? I'm ready, man. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. Because I want to see these players, but I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. You know what I mean? It's preseason. We got to stay healthy. We got to be conscious of that, you know. But at the same time, let's go play some ball, you know. Let's go try to win this thing for Luke Kuechly, man. You know what I mean? Show our love for him, you know. So we got Patrick Jones coming back into this game. Travis Gibson at second spot. Nick Hampton, Cam Gill. I like Travis Gibson. I think he's a solid second stringer. I like what we're looking at here. You know what I mean? This looks good. Devin Lloyd, excited to have him as a new addition. Quaden, of course, you recognize his name if you've been around here for a while. Solid run stopper. Jackson Kuwatch from last year. And then Mema. Who I'm interested in seeing a little bit more of. Man, why didn't we keep the Tampa Bay quarterback that just came in? It just doesn't make any sense. Because he was a practice squad guy, he was never going to make the 53-man roster anyway. If you're talking about Will Greer retired. So, what I don't understand is, like, why would you come in and think that you're going to play a whole season with us, you know, and sign for a whole season and get your bag, you know, when you know you're about to retire, unless he didn't know he was going to retire, and then thought he was actually going to play a whole season. So, I mean, like, training camp can have that effect on older quarterbacks, you know, or quarterbacks that are on the fence and just ready to retire. It is the thing. So, welcome back, Mr. Trevin Wallace. Love seeing this man in a Panther uniform, man. It's just, it excites me. He reminds me of AJ Klein every time he puts on that uniform. And I love it. I love seeing what he might be capable of doing. Okay. No, you're not talking about Will Greer. Got you. The quarterback that came over from Tampa, that was pro with us. Oh, Baker Mayfield, right? Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Which, speaking of, yeah, I'll get to him in a minute, y'all. I'll get to him in a minute. For the people that haven't heard that news. Jalen Phillips. We got Princely. We got Thomas Incoom back. Which I like Thomas Incoom. I think there's a little bit of upside with him. And then Isaiah Smith. I'm happy with Isaiah Smith as well. That's a pretty good, strong linebacker crew here. Pretty solidly stacked out there. Although you might not see Isaiah Smith make the 53. We'll see, though. He's one of the ones on the bubble. Mike Jack, Caleb Evans, Willie, and DeCarlos Nicholson. I don't know anything about DeCarlos Nicholson. I've heard the name when we signed him, but I don't know anything about him. I will say this, though. Caleb Evans, be aware. Be aware, sir. Because Willie is coming for your job. This man caught a pick without pads on the first week. Willie is on a journey. He is on a mission. So, Caleb Evans, like, you better be crossing your T's and dotting your I's this practice squad because this training camp. Willie will come for you. And, I mean, both of these gentlemen are going to make the 53. I have no doubt about it. But, again, you know, the way to the 53, the yellow brick road to the 53 goes through special teams. If you make a play on special teams, you're going to make it. You make some plays on there and you impress the coaches. That's the way to do it. And, you know, you'll hear Dave Canales say that. You'll hear Dan Morgan say that, even, as a GM. That's just the way that works. If you're on the bubble, that's how you make it. And that goes for any NFL team. All right, so Trevon Moehrig, and then you got Zachy Wheatley. I've heard Trayvon's doing really well in practice so far. Really pleased with that. Free safety, Nick Scott, Lathan Ransom, Damani Richardson. I got questions about that one. What in the world happened to Damani Richardson? Why is this dude dropping off the table? I watched him myself 2 years ago up in Charlotte. And I can straight up tell you this dude's got the talent to move up that board. So, my question for you, Damani, is this. Like, how bad do you want it, bro? Like, I'm surprised that he's third on that board right now, behind Lathan. And Lathan has picked up the pace. So, you got to keep up with him, man. Got to keep up with him. I know you got the talent. I know Lathan has the talent. You know, and we know Nick Scott is great in run support and can tackle, you know, but is god-awful in pass coverage. So if you bump up Lathan, you know, to full-time starter and put Nick Scott in run packages, you know, keep him on the 53, we're in good shape. I'm pleased. You know, we've given Lathan an entire year to set up and learn. You know, under Trayvon Moehrig, you know, and J.C. Horn and all of these secondary players, you know, so Lathan, it's time, man. Step up. Time for you to claim your spot. And Damani, I need you to climb up that ladder, buddy. Climb up that ladder. Because you should not be third spot right now. There's no way. But behind Lathan, sure. I want to see a battle between Lathan and Damani. That's what I want to see happen in the next 2 preseason games. Show me a battle. Show me who wants it more. Be a ball hawk. Handle your business out there. Do your job, with and don't get cooked, Show me mechanics. I want to see which one is truly better. Now that both of them have been in the system for long enough. Let's see a battle there. So we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield. It's true, he's back. It's true. Phil is true. He's coming back. I don't know what you're trying to say. But yeah, we'll get to Baker in a minute. J.C. Horn starting as he should. Number 1 corner. Mike Jack, number 2 corner. You got Caleb Evans is number 3, and then Willie, follows up at number 4 right now, with Robert Rochelle on the bubble, Tyreek on the bubble, and DeCarlos Nicholson as a squad guy, with Chow Smith Wade at nickel, Corey Thornton also locked in at 4, battling with the Caleb Evans, which makes me very, very happy. There's a 3-way battle for that number 4 spot. With Cam Miller entering that now. So this just got real interesting. And Devonta Smith is fighting for a spot too. Is it true that we're bringing Baker Mayfield back? No. No, we're not. We have Kenny Pickett at number 2 right now. And we have Haynes King at number 3. So we've got our 3 quarterbacks. No, we're not bringing back Baker. No. I did hear about him turning down the $50 million a year for a 2-year contract with Tampa Bay, which suggests he's going somewhere, but he's not coming to Carolina. I actually had conversations with about 2 or 3 people in my team chat about him, because he became that important of a topic. Considering the fact this is Tampa Bay and they're going to be the main division opponent going for that division title this year, as they were last year. So, with Baker Mayfield off the table and not being signed back in 29, I would say that the door is open for us to completely command the NFC South in 29. Now, as for 28, we're still going to be battling Tampa Bay in his last contract year. I also have it on good authority that you have one other linebacker in Tampa Bay trying for a trade as well, and that's Vita Vea. So pay attention to those 2 moves right there, because that's going to be big. Tampa just lost Mike Evans recently. So that door cracked last year, and now it's about to be wide open. So I want y'all to keep that in mind as we go through this season. Watch these battles. If Baker Mayfield starts turning it on, we'll know exactly why. Because he's trying to get a contract. So I would not be surprised to see him win an extra game that he's probably not supposed to win. Remember the quarterback that came back from Tampa Bay not just too long ago and didn't sign him back? What happened in the situation that came in and worked out with? Oh, you're talking about Kyle Trask. You're talking about Kyle Trask. We did not sign Kyle Trask. I have no idea what happened there. Maybe they just didn't like what they saw in the workouts. I don't know. But no, we have not officially signed Kyle Trask. We let him go. Which my whole thing with that is, yes, he has a 4-11 record, but how are you going to sit there and say, oh yeah, well, we don't like his record after like 4 for 11 passes, behind center, and not give him a chance to improve on that? Somebody's got to give him a chance to improve on that. Whether that be Tennessee, Arizona, maybe Cleveland, somebody's going to give him a chance. I don't see him just staying on that free agent couch the entire year. Somebody's going to get desperate enough, with their record to say, yeah, enough's enough. We gotta try something new. Because I do see something there, but he's got to do something about that record, and be given a chance before we can officially, fully give him our chance, We need established, talented quarterbacks, and we like Haynes King better. Let's just call it what it is. We like Haynes King better. So, I think that was the right call. I'm not going to disagree with it. At this point, I think we did the right thing. Panthers minor roster move tells us more than we think. That's what I was just sent is that article. But yeah, let's do special teams. We got Ryan Fitzgerald, who did not miss kicks at all. Solid as a rock. Sam Martin back there, punter. All right, so here's what's interesting. It's Trevor Etienne, David Moore, Bryson Tremaine, your typical three doing punt returns. Trevor Etienne, Chuba, David Moore at kick return. I saw them trying out a couple of other players, though, during FanFest. So we're going to see how that goes. It seems like they didn't pan out, and we're sticking with the same people here. We got J.J. Jensen at long snapper, of course. The oldest Panther so far on this roster. But, the issue is trying to replace long snapper. Once he gets old enough, how are you going to replace long snapper when there are very few on the market, if at all, coming through the drafts? So, that's going to be tricky. You're going to have to train somebody how to do that, I think, is how we might end up having to solve that problem. So, that's a problem for the coaches. Like, how do you train these guys how to do that? I don't know. Have fun with that one. That's the coaching staff's problem right there. Good luck. Hope you guys figure that one out. But there you go. That's your depth chart for the Hall of Fame game for the Panthers. Overall, really solid roster. Very pleased with it. There's only a couple of those that I was just like, okay, why are they ahead of certain people? But, I'm not mad at it. And I'm really happy with Isaiah Simmons. He made 2 plays during Fan Fest. Love my dude from Clemson making those plays. Love it, love it, love it. You know, I was wearing the Simmons jersey to Fan Fest, and I'm so happy. You heard somewhere that we were going to bring in Von Miller? Seriously? That's news to me. He's too expensive for us, really. We're sitting on like $8 million in cap space right now, which is perfect for the regular season for in-season moves. So, you know, in minor practice squad and 4-string moves right now. So, which are like $1 million or less. You know, sandwich and bread. You know, type moves. Honestly, I just think like would if we even had the money, would anybody in the Panthers fan base like accept Von Miller? I wonder that, and I've wondered that ever since Denver let go of him, because after that Super Bowl, what he did to us during that Super Bowl to Mike Remmers, would anybody as a Panthers fan like rightfully accept him on this roster? Like ugh, I don't think they would, to be fair. I've always had that apprehensive, you know, mentality about him. But at the same time, like his reputation does precede itself. Definitely does. This man has made string cheese out of some of the teams that have come into the playoffs. It's almost a guarantee that if you are facing Von Miller in the playoffs, you are going to lose. And whenever that's why I always pay attention to what team signs him, because it's going to be a 2 to 3 year deal, and that team is typically fully loaded and they're in the playoffs already, such as Buffalo. So when Buffalo signed him, I was like, oh no, because that's a very dangerous team. And you play the Bills in the playoffs, and you have to face him as an offensive lineman. Good luck. The dude is a monster. He's an absolute animal. So, I don't like the idea of that, to be real with you. Thank God he's on that side of the AFC, you know, most of the time of his career. So we only have to face him maybe once or twice during regular season, and then in the playoffs, you know, at the Super Bowl, if we make it that far. You know, and 99 times out of 100, we haven't made it that far. So we only have to face them the 2 times, you know, during the regular season, which is scary enough, to be honest. Because we've had so much trouble at tackle that, yeah, it's not a fun experience. You heard the Panthers games are going to be on Channel 9. Are you right about that? Where are you located? What city? I can tell you how you can figure it out. Because there's a list of radio stations on the news tab on the Panthers website. Right here. So here's your list of affiliate stations. It's radio network, game day coverage. As far as like being able to watch them, that's a whole nother matter because I think Fox owns them. I'm not exactly sure as far as pregame though. Preseason game though. But yeah, it all depends on where you live. You got shot something, that guy DJ Moore, Shaq Thompson. You remember that Panther player? Yeah, I do remember Shaq Thompson. And of course the Bills picked him up. Of course, right? They always pick up our trash. They're like the trash men team, these days anymore. Except that they've got like a really good quarterback and a lot of weapons. But DJ Moore has been doing DJ Moore things, in Chicago. He's not happy about his situation in Chicago. That's last I heard. And I think he wants out. Which I did tell you guys that was going to happen. After we traded him, I told you that would happen. I called it. It is on VOD. It is on one of my streams. You can go look it up. It's crazy how many times I get this stuff right. But it is what it is, man. DJ's a very competitive player. I know how he is, and I know how he rocks, and does his thing, on the field. So I knew he wouldn't stay happy in Chicago. I mean, yeah, Chicago's a very dangerous playoff contender at this point, but maybe he's a little more happy than he was before because of the fact that they're a contender now. But who knows? We'll see. I haven't heard anything recently though. North Carolina, Rockwell, right? Roswell. Let's see what we got. Right, Roswell. Okay. There's Hopewell, Virginia. For the Virginia people out there too. I can't say I've ever been to Elkin, North Carolina. I'm not sure exactly where that is. Might be on the East Coast. I've heard of Burlington. Never been to Burlington. You'd love to have Brian Burns back. Oh, me too. Me too. Honestly, it was between him and DJ Moore when we made the trade, and either way, we ended up losing both of them. So it was like, well, it is what it is, man. But I think we made the right decision. We got Bryce Young out of it. We got weapons out of it. We got defensive players out of it. So I'm pleased. with what we got from Dan Morgan. But what we got from Scott Fitterer, yeah, I'm going to keep my mouth shut about that. Because now's not really the right time to be talking about that type of stuff. So, are you guys ready to start talking Arizona Cardinals players? Now, Larry Fitzgerald is the other Hall of Famer being honored in this game. So, let's take a look at that Cardinals schedule for the regular season. We've got the Chargers starting off. That's going to be a loss. I can already tell you. When you got rid of your main quarterback, you screwed up big time. Because now you're doing with Jacoby Brissett, you're doing with Gardner Minshew. These guys are mid. Brissett might have some potential, maybe. But Gardner Minshew's been in the league for a while now, and he's mid to garbage. So, yeah, you might have Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, you might have Michael Wilson. You might have Trey McBride. But who else do you have? Who are the rest of these guys? Jeremiah Love's above average. Decent running back. But they got ISM. Are you serious? There's no way. You managed to get your hands on ISM. Oh boy. I'm disappointed. This dude's a good wide receiver. 6'1", 200 pounds, 5th round pick. He's pretty good, man. 14 for 20, 122 yards out of those targets, 2 touchdowns, 9 first downs. Passing, and then they used him for some rushing plays as well. 4 fumbles, though. 4 fumbles. So if you see him in the third or fourth quarter, try to knock that ball loose. But yeah, not a very impressive excuse me. Not a very impressive offensive roster here. Trying to look and see if I know anybody that I want to point out. Let's see. Carson Beck, I've seen. He was that guy from TCU, and nope, Miami. That's who it was. Okay. Yep, 6'4", 220. Beck's all right as a quarterback. I think eventually he's got a pretty good shot at making second string when Gardner Minshew retires and Jacoby just starts falling off the wagon. Carson Beck might be in line to start at some point down the line in the next 2 years. We'll see. He's got to learn the system. He's got to understand, how to run certain concepts in the NFL versus college. And I think it's got to be the right system for him. But eventually you're going to hear that name again in a major way. But it won't be for the Cardinals, I don't think. It'll be for somebody good. But he'll end up a second stringer at some point somewhere else after getting his rookie bag here. And then you'll really start to see him pop off in years like 3, 4, 5. You know, he'll be on social media somewhere. But yeah, these guys are just not it. This offense just is garbage. It's pure garbage. If we don't beat this Arizona offense, I don't know what to tell you. Then we need to take a serious look at our offense coordinator and a serious look at our play calling. Alright, so Josh Sweat could become an issue if he were to be healthy and on the field. Another one I want to point out is Zachary Carter. People haven't really been paying too much attention to him, but he's a Florida native. 3rd round pick by Cincinnati, 6'4", 301. Yeah, he came from the Bengals, y'all. 5 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble. But yeah, the dude has made the most out of his opportunities. He hasn't had many. But you can see this 33 solo tackles, 48 assists out of 81. So he does need help tackling people, but he handles his business on pressures and pass deflections. But he's mostly a run stuffer. That's what the stats tell you. We'll see how that plays out on the field, but it's somebody to be aware of. Andrew Billings. 19 solo tackles, 1 sack. Last year, 6'1", 340. At the defensive tackle position, and he came from Baylor. That's another Cincinnati pick that is now ended up in Arizona's hands on defense. And he has played in the postseason. He has postseason experience, ladies and gentlemen, for 1 game. So he has a total of 107 out of 191 total tackles. So it's somebody to be aware of. They lost to the Rams in overtime in the playoffs, in the divisional playoffs. So, brother, have you found me a Carolina Panthers helmet with black and blue? The mini helmet, I have not had time, brother. I've been dealing with everything under the sun rather than Panther related content in the last few days. So I literally was like an entire week late just getting a training camp update out there. So that ought to tell you how busy I've been. Normally I'm way on top of this stuff, but they're just not putting out content and I just focused on other things. You know, there was like little tidbits of information of injuries and whatnot, you know, that I saw. Little clips that they wanted us to see, but that was really it. Like, I have not heard detailed reports or any of that stuff, you know, that I would like to see. So it took me forever to get around to training camp stuff, you know, and get this stuff done. So it is what it is. I have not been to the mall. You know, I've got personal stuff to take care of, you know, off camera. So I'll do what I can, but I have not had time. Like FanFest, we barely made it up there just for the warm-ups. Like, that's how crazy that day was. And I was more worried about just making sure that my phone battery was not going to die on me several times that day. I don't know what it is about Charlotte weather or just Charlotte in general, but for some reason my phone just dies off a lot quicker than it should. Might be time for a new phone, who knows. But anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, whenever I'm back at South Carolina, it's fine though. It's weird. Any tech experts want to try to explain that one? Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, but yeah, when I've got the time and things are calmed down, I'll try to get that mini helmet for you, buddy. Um, so let's continue looking at this. We got Iku Leota. We know him. Ugh, excuse me. This dude has been on our practice squad and our 53 at one point. 6'4", 257. We know what he can do. He's more of a run stopper, to be honest. But he can get sacks as well, so be aware of that. He will beat out a third stringer or fourth stringer in a preseason game. Is he going to use the most of his reps? I would think so. He's that type of player. Let's see. Sean Murphy Bunting. Oh, that's a familiar name. Okay, this dude was a Buccaneer. Second round pick Buccaneer. 30 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 3 picks, 5 pass deflections last year. Very, very dangerous corner right here. He is a hidden gem among the trash of Arizona's roster. 6 foot even, 195. And fast too. This dude is incredibly dangerous. He's got 11 picks over his career. 34 pass deflections over his career. And an average of 15.5 run stuffs. He has forced 8 fumbles over his career so far and recovered 2 of them. And even got himself a sack somewhere along the line. So be aware, man. This dude is incredibly dangerous. He gave San Francisco all they could handle. And Seattle. So, very nasty player. But, is he Superman? No. Can he be beaten? Yes. Buda Baker. Very, very terrifying player. Yet another diamond in this rough of players. 57 solo tackles, 1 pick, 5 pass deflections from the state of Washington and the College of Washington. I think he's originally from the state of Washington too, but I have no idea. 5'10", 195, but God, this dude is an animal. He's already racked up over 1,000 tackles. And 10 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, recovered 6 of them, 8 picks in his career. 44 pass deflections. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 44 pass deflections. And 64.5 average run stuff. My God. That's a player you don't want to run into. I am very glad that he is not starting. He's not one of those types that will try to injure you, but he will cause some major, major problems on the field. Yeah, I know that's pretty hard to get inside when the stadium start. Yeah. I mean, there's fan shops around each level. I just didn't have the time to go digging for merch, even though my buddy Corey Recker wanted to. We just didn't have the time. It is unfortunate, but it is what it is. To be fair, like my day was so chaotic that I had not even eaten before I got into that stadium that entire day. So like my first priority was get something to eat. And by the time I got my food and got to my seats, like warm-ups were starting. So it is what it is, but and usually those warm-ups last for like 15 minutes. Who knows how long they actually last, so I didn't want to take that chance. So it is what it is, man. God, I'm tired. I'm pushing through, y'all. Pushing through for y'all. Let's see. Oh, we got Dominic Williams. Oh, there's Dante Stills. Yes. Yes. We need to cover Dante Stills. 17 solo tackles. This is a run stopper. Defensive tackle right here. 6'4", 300 pounds from West Virginia. A 6th round gem right here. 123 total tackles so far. 55 of those solo. 8 sacks. He forced a fumble and recovered his own fumble. 2 pass deflections, but 11 run stops. So, really, we need to watch out for him in the run stopping situations, but he's a very, very dangerous tackler. He will wrap up very quickly. And that's been noted in his scouting report, too. Let's see. Anybody else? Not really. Andrew Wingard is kind of like a mid free safety, to be honest. I see the potential there, but it's just like, But Blake Griffin on punts. You got Devin on punt returns. ISM on second string punt returns. But and of course Chad Ryland kicking and punting both. But I think it's very interesting to see ISM in a 4-string wide receiver role. That's basically where he was when he was with us too. So it's interesting to see a couple of these other guys, he's struggling to beat them, for their spots. So, we'll see. But yeah, your fourth quarterback for Arizona is Caden Slovis from BYU. Hasn't really done anything. Not worried about him. We'll take a look at him, but I'm not too scared I am. Trey McBride. Now, this is the dude you need to watch out for over the middle. 126 receptions, over 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9.8 as a tight end and catching. He's a second round pick from Colorado State, 6'4", 246. But over his career, we're looking at 3,400 yards total, 17 touchdowns, 180 first downs. Which, are the major things that you need to pay attention to. 347 out of 461 receiving versus targets. Those are the numbers you need to pay attention to. Yeah, my mom was wondering too, because we talked to the stadium one time and they promised us to do something like that, and they never did make it happen. Yeah. It's Tepper's people now. If it was Jerry Richardson's people, you might have had better luck, to be honest. Because I remember every time that you would call to, like, the staff in Jerry Richardson's employ, like, you would always get something awesome. Even if it's just, like, a little Panthers packet or something like that, with, like, some stickers and some pencils or whatever, in it. Just to show love, to the fans that have called in. Even if you are not getting what you wanted out of that phone call, you're at least getting something out of it. You know what I mean? So, Tapper's people are in charge now, so I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but I would like to see that continue, for the newer fans out there, especially the ones from Europe, first time people that have never been to BOA Stadium, or new time fans, if you're going to BOA for the first time, as a fan for a game, you can call up there, let them know, or email them, and they'll send you like a packet with some stuff in it. So I love that. I love that continued. That's really awesome. So I don't know who decided to continue that, but that's really cool. But yeah, I don't know. If you're asking for like a mini helmet or something like that, you're better off just getting it for like $25 at the store. There's like several sports stores around. They carry those mini helmets. But if you want it strictly from BOA Stadium, that's a whole nother matter. But if you want people to buy it for you, I could help you out with that. That's fine. But I would just have to have the time to do it. That's the problem. Whoa, the tickets are as low as $34 for this game in Hall of Fame Stadium. That's crazy. And that's off of Vivid Seats too, guys. So if you're in the area and you want to go see the Hall of Fame game, they're $34. That's cheap as dirt, dude. My goodness. But yeah, Ooh, Isaiah Oliver. Yeah, 29 solo tackles, 3 pass deflections for this nickelback corner / safety. 6 foot even, 210 from Colorado. And I mean, like 272 total solo tackles versus out of 382. 3 forced fumbles, 3 picks. So he's a ball hawk. 42 pass deflections and 10.5 run stuffs. So be aware of Isaiah Oliver. He's definitely got potential to be dangerous down the road. Maybe not today, but maybe at some point down in the future. Dante Stills, we talked about already. Okay. I think we've gotten everybody that we need to get. Maybe Zachary Carter. Did we get Zachary Carter? Anyway, there's his numbers. Yeah. If you want to look at him a little bit longer, just pause the stream and look at him. Or look at him in VOD. Or just look them up yourself. They're on the ESPN website. I don't know some of these names on this offensive line. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're mid to below average at this point. They typically haven't had a decent offensive line in Arizona in quite a few years. But the ones recently have been a little stronger than normal. So if you are trying to push and get some of these pressures and stuff like that, just be aware of that. Like, on paper, it doesn't look like much, but on the field, yeah. These guys are something to keep an eye on. All right, so Arizona's schedule. You're looking at. Well, let me read this comment from Jeffrey real quick. He says, well, it's nice to me, a full-size Panther helmet. Yeah, it is nice. Those helmets are awesome, dude. Love those. I actually got mine signed by a couple of players. Ryan Cool being one of them. Which I was so excited to get that. No, it was Bradley Bozeman. That's who it was. And I was so hyped to get that, dude. Because, like, Bradley Bozeman was my dude. I loved him. Alright, so you got the Chargers in LA, Seattle at home, 49ers in San Francisco. First 3 games for Arizona. Yikes. Big yikes. Oof. Scary stuff right there. Deshaun Watson had his first practice this year? Whoa. Oh my goodness. So he is officially back. I heard a rumor, but I wasn't sure. My goodness. All right. Well, let's see what happens. But yeah, first 3 games for Arizona. Yikes. That's 0-3, guys. Goodness gracious. You might have a shot against the Giants in New York, but I doubt it. And then the Lions at home in Arizona. Oof. That might be a more interesting game than people think. Because the Lions are starting to drop off the table a little bit. Not much, but they're, it's a competitive team now compared to what it used to be before Ben Johnson took over. So they just don't have enough firepower because everybody else is taking their firepower that they need in these drafts. They're not drafting well at the moment. And so you got the Rams in LA. Ooh, boy. Broncos at home, Cowboys in Dallas, Seattle in Seattle. Oof. And then the Rams follow that up at home. You go to KC against the Chiefs. Oh my god. And then the soft Washington Commanders team, down here. November 29th. I think you can win that one. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I think Arizona's got a shot in that game. Then you go for another 2-game stretch against the Eagles and the Jets. You might have a shot against the Jets. You might. I'll give you credit where it's due. I think the Jets are just a mediocre team in general. They've got some competitive players, but they're just mediocre. They're not going anywhere. That jet plane has stayed on the runway, really. So they fuel it up every year, but it just stays grounded. I mean, best of luck to the Jets, man. They got a decent coaching staff, I think, but it's not enough. You really got to keep pushing. You need a better GM. One that really is hungry for a championship and really wants to do something. So that's probably going to be a win for the Cardinals there against the Jets on the 20th there in December. Then Cardinals face the Saints in New Orleans. And that is not a fun place to play in December. I'm gonna give the Saints the advantage there because by that point the Saints will be established. Raiders at home, huh? Ooh, that's a tough one there. That's a tough one. We'll have to see what the Raiders look like before I can pick that one or make any type of projection there. And Niners to clean up the rest of the season. That's going to be a loss. Every time the Cardinals have played the San Francisco 49ers, it has not ended well in the last 5 or 6 years. And then you got the Rams and Seahawks who are playoff contenders already. Yeah, you're cooked in your division. You're just cooked in general with this schedule. It's just filthy. I see Cardinals going probably maybe 3-4 wins, sitting up there with the Falcons. Top 10 again in the picks for the draft. So, which I think they're gunning for Archie. I think they really are. They're one of those teams gunning for Archie. So what's going to happen is you're going to sit there and see Arizona, Cleveland, Tennessee, and maybe another couple of surprise teams that are going to be sitting up there at the top of the draft board. Giving the top one a phone call to try to get Archie. Pittsburgh might enter that race as well, considering that Aaron Rodgers is going to be retiring. The Dolphins might get desperate enough to try to go for it as well, considering they just lost Tua. So if they are not happy with who they got, we'll see. But this is going to be a real interesting battle between about 5 or so teams for Archie. And I'm curious to see what will happen. I don't think that Tennessee or Arizona will end up with Archie. I'll just go ahead and say that right now. There will be a trade. Who's going to get him? We'll see. We're not in that mess. We're going to be looking for something else. Possibly a pass rusher to start things off. Maybe another offensive tackle. We'll see. Maybe a linebacker. When you're in year 3 offseason, preparing for the draft, that's when it really gets fun. Because now you got some options. You can start hunting for some depth and some rookies that you can train up under your system, to where you don't get them from somewhere else, and you have to retrain them in your system. You can get these guys right away, and train them in your system for a rookie contract, which is really nice. This is what happens when you do things right. And you're in year 3 of it. You get those types of luxuries. But our focus is going to be on mechanics, footwork, hands, discipline, and raise stats. Increased muscle, increased mentality, increased understanding of the game. That's what we're looking for out of these players this year. Build on what you already know. Build on what you're learning. And just, it's personal growth. You know what I mean? As players, as a whole team, coming together and doing the right things on the field. So that's what we're going to be doing with. Let's see what the Cardinals transactions have been like. Okay, so they... Ooh, my goodness. All right. So they waived the DB. They claimed 2 players. Oh, why is this on here twice? Huh. Interesting. Oh, and we have extended Jalen Coker. Very excited to talk about that right there, because that's big news right there for us. But it doesn't look like there's anything really too exciting going on with the Cardinals. So it will be Carson Beck versus Kenny Pickett. We're going to get our first look at Carson Beck. We're going to find out who Carson Beck is as a starting QB in a preseason game. So this should be fun. Starts for his 5th time in 4 years. So we're going to learn a lot about him very soon. Okay. NBC is hosting the game. So if you're wanting to watch, it's on NBC. And that's everywhere. So we are being broadcast nationally, guys. Nationally. Pay attention to that. We want to show up, and we want to show up well. But we also don't want to injure our players. So don't go too stir crazy out there if you're a player. You know, again, it's preseason. You know, make plays, but impress the coaches. But don't hurt yourselves trying to do it. Okay? Availability is the best ability when it comes to regular season. So we need everybody healthy. So you may not see these starters for very long on the field. Dan Chesney, IR, undisclosed injury. Damian Lewis with a calf. Icky with the knee injury on the pup. And of course Brad Brazel. You know, with the knee injury on the IR. Nick Scorton, you know, on the IR. With his knee injury, ACL tear. Alright, so let's take a look at the Cardinals. You got Joey Blunt, who's got an undisclosed injury. He'll be playing probably. BJ Mustapher on the IR with a foot injury. James Conner with a foot injury, questionable. Killa Proctor with a knee injury, meniscus tear. He's on the IR. Josh Sweat on the PUP list with a knee injury. He's going to return on August 6th. So we are going to be doing with Josh Sweat. Be aware, y'all. Alright. That being said, the under-over spread is 1.5. Under for us, if you guys are interested in that with DraftKings, but we're not going to bet on preseason games. Come on, guys. If you bet on preseason games, I question your fandom. Because that game just does not matter when it comes to that. Now, what does matter about a preseason game is the fact that these guys are trying to make a 53-man roster spot. Most of them. Now, if you're a starter, why this game is important to you is you are prepping for the regular season. So you want about a 1 series or 2 series, you know, every game to prep your body up, you know, for live games and get into the live schedule, you know, of games. And get into a rhythm. So each week you're prepping for the game, you know, you're eating right, you're doing nutrition, you're doing exercising at a certain time, you're sleeping at a certain time. You know, these are the types of habits that people don't talk about, you know, with these players. You know, they get into these rhythms. So that's why, like, for the veterans, you know, that need this stuff, there you go. There's your opportunity. But there's a few of these veteran players, you know, like every now and then that really need the reps, you know, so that first or second series for them is everything, It sets them up. It prepares them. So we've witnessed last year where we've had preparation issues, and we didn't start all these starters. They were not ready for the regular season game, and it was happening around the league. It wasn't just us. It was happening around the whole league. And that's why I was just like, really? When people say that these guys don't need these reps, it's like, now hold on. Let's back that up for a second. Because when half the league doesn't play their starters for 1 or 2 series, at least a game, and they're not ready for a regular season game when they open the season up, yeah, that's kind of a bad look. And it's definitely a bad look on TV ratings. And on ticket sales, if that continues to happen. So, and I'm speaking to the league, on that front, because that's the only language they understand is money. So, how would you like it if the TV ratings went down because, these guys were not prepared for the game, they played like trash, in the season opener, because you didn't put them in for enough reps in preseason. Every single year, it's the same thing for like 5, 6, 7 years in a row. The answer is not getting rid of preseason games. It's called getting them on the field for 1 or 2 series. And you won't let it happen, league. Like, Roger Goodell is so focused on getting rid of preseason games completely that he's missing the point of what preseason games are for entirely. And it's frustrating me. It's not about making money, Roger. You've got enough money already. You've got millions in the bank. Why are you worried about more money? How about instead of worrying about money and where your next paycheck is coming from for your next yacht or your private plane, like all these congressmen have right now, how about you focus on getting these guys prepared for games so we can actually be entertained for the money we're paying to buy tickets to these games as consumers. But of course, you guys don't care about us as consumers. You've proven that several times over because you're a corporate entity. Just like all the rest of them. So, why should we care about that? Because these guys keep getting injured in regular season games because they're not prepared and they're doing stupid stuff that they know they should not be doing. Because they had not gotten the proper reps in during preseason games to iron that out of their system. Don't just take my word for it. Look at the injury reports. Major player names down for the count. And it kills your TV ratings because, they wanted to see a certain player. Maybe they were just so honed in on like a certain player. And when they go down, yep, there goes the season. Like maybe a Dak Prescott. Maybe somebody like that. Who knows? I'm just naming that name just as a top player that's most important on a team. You know what I mean? It could be anybody. My point being, if these star players get injured during a regular season, because of lack of preparation, Roger, I blame that on you. Because you're over here trying to get rid of preseason games and only seeing dollar signs. It's ridiculous. And it's a practice that needs to end. Now, this Arizona team, I mean, Carson Beck's a very interesting quarterback, but we really, really need to make this an interesting game and show up play calling wise. So, again, I'll point out what Dan Morgan said in front of everybody and straight to this guy's face right on the podium. He said, I'm prepared to fire people to get this trophy. People straight up asked him point blank. And that's what his answer was. And that's the exact answer you want out of your GM. So, Brad Isaac, Dave Canellis, time to show up. Play calling wise. Now is your first opportunity. So, Brad, what it would be? Are we going to have another 23-point preseason in 3 games? Or are you going to actually show up this time and do something productive with this play calling? Not show your entire hand, obviously, because we're not trying to do that. But show up at least a little bit more, because these other teams are looking at you like shark bait right now. Care to prove them wrong? I'd like to see you prove them wrong. The rest of us would love to see you prove them wrong. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that, yes, you are the guy at offensive coordinator. You are the guy creating these plays. You are everything that everybody is saying that you are. But right now, I can't do it until you prove it to everybody. Yes, I have been your biggest critic as well. You know? So, when I'm pushing this hard, that means we have bigger things on the table than just 8-8 now. We're trying to win division titles. We're trying to win playoff games. We're trying to get to the Super Bowl. Those are our goals. It's not just 8-8 anymore. So, whoever is calling these plays and is not getting it done every other game, wake up and smell the coffee. Because, Brad, if it's you, you might not have a freaking job. Your key card might not work after this year. We shall see. We shall see, good sir, whether that is the case or not. First chance to prove it against a trash team. Can you get 21 points at least? 24 points? Can you show the world on national television, on NBC, during a Hall of Fame game, that you at least have something in the freaking pocket that you could pull out? Because right now, I'm not buying it. And neither is most of the NFL. So, what do it be? As the waiters of one of my favorite restaurants, Dillsworth, have said, what do it be, good sir? Are we going for the pasta? Are we going for the steak? Are we going for... What are we going for, man? What are we doing? Can I start you out with the appetizer, or maybe a touchdown on the first drive? Can we at least get like a field goal? Something. It would be nice. It would be really nice. What would it be, Brad? You decide. David, hey, he's in, he's in, he's in. Wonder what Brad will call tomorrow during the game. We'll see. I mean, bare bones stuff, for a West Coast offense is what I'm expecting. And I get it. It's preseason. You do want to give bare bones plays. I get that. But 23 points in a whole preseason when we have that much talent? Yeah. That kind of makes us look like shark bait on offense. Sorry to say it, but and my reference here is if you've ever watched the first Hunger Games movie, right? Where you got Katniss and Peeta from District 12, and they go into the training center and they're expected to, do some workouts and stuff and show their talents, right? So Peeta screws up and makes himself look like a weakling. So Katniss is like, throw the boulder. I know what Haymitch said, throw the boulder. And that's what I'm telling Chad to do right now on play calling. Throw the boulder. Throw the rock. Show off Kenny Pickett's arm. I know what everybody's been saying. It's preseason. It's preseason. It's preseason. Don't give away too much. No. These guys are looking at you like shark bait right now as an offensive coordinator and a play caller. Throw the boulder. Because if you don't, and you don't come in there swinging with 4 preseason games, this one counts as 4. People are going to continue to look at you like shark bait as we go into week 1 through 2, 3, and 4 in the regular season. It's going to carry over. Throw the boulder. That's my advice. It's the Cardinals. Throw the boulder. Otherwise, they're not going to take you seriously. No, I'm not saying give all you have to it, And as you recall from the movie scene, Peeta didn't truly give all of his strength to that throw, but he did enough that all of his colleagues were impressed. Enough to leave him alone. And say, okay. Maybe he's not raw meat after all. And that's what I'm saying to you, Brad. If you want the critics to get off your back and go, maybe he's not raw meat after all, then throw the boulder. Okay? Throw the rock. Don't go nuts with it, but throw the rock. What that will also do is it will show off Kenny Pickett's ability. When you give him a little more leash as a starter in this game, you are showing Kenny Pickett, yes, I am showing you that I'm making a commitment to you as a backup quarterback. That, yes, this contract is what we're saying it is, and we want to see what you could do. But don't go crazy. It's preseason. Don't get yourself hurt. Don't get yourself injured. But let's just see what you can do. Show people that you're not a weakling. Because another thing I've noticed is a lot of people threw Kenny Pickett under the bus before he came here. They said, Kenny Pickett can't do this. Kenny Pickett can't do this. Okay. He can't do this. He can't do that. Okay. Let's find out then. Let's sign him to a contract. But he's also good at this. He's also good at that once we sign him, right? Okay. Again, let's find out. So, throw the rock. That's my suggestion. Throw the rock. You never know what people might say after that. But the last place you want to end up is looking like a raw piece of meat to the rest of the league. Do what you want to, Brad. It's your offense. Just my opinion. But that advice right there might just help save your job down the road. I didn't have to give that advice, but I did. You're welcome. Bottom line, I want another division title. I want a playoff win this time. I don't just want to make the playoffs. I want to make the playoffs legitimately and without help. And I want us to win a playoff game this year. Ocho Cinco predicted it. I want to make Ocho Cinco truthful in his statement. How about you guys? Let me know. Let me know. We'll find out. Let me know. How much do y'all want these roster spots? Are you hungry enough to take them? Or are you just going to nonchalantly, just barely make the 53 if you make it at all? No. Dave Canales said, Dan, don't put slouchers on this 53. Y'all should know that by now. That's not how we roll. We want contenders on this team. We want commanders on this team. We want dogs on this team that are hungry for a victory. So which one are you? Are you the predator or are you the prey? As we go into these preseason games. You choose. Choose wisely. Some of you may not get a second chance after this training camp is over. Once that 53 is set, you may not get another shot. Choose wisely. Because your mentality can mean the difference between millions of dollars and making a basic salary in the NFL. And there's 50,000 players trying to get the same stuff as you that are way more hungry than you are for that spot on a roster, that have been training, doing off-season stuff, all kinds of preparation. How bad do you want it? Show me. Don't just show me. Show thousands of other people watching this Hall of Fame game. Show thousands of people that might give you a call if we cut you. You're not just trying out for our team. You're trying out for any team on the NFL. Some of you. So, which one are you? Let's find out. Impress us. Make the most out of your reps in these preseason games. You know? Be the next Effie Obata. Who wants to be the next Effie? Show me. I use him as an example. For those that don't know, Effie Obata was from London. He was a foreign exchange player at defensive end. He played one game in Pittsburgh in a preseason game. Week 3 of preseason. Got 3 reps in the last 2 minutes of that Pittsburgh game. And Effie, who knows the story? Who knows the story? I'm curious. I know David knows the story. He had 3 reps. He got 2 pressures and 1 sack in those 3 opportunities, and 2 of those pressures should have been a sack. He technically got 3 pressures. Two of those should have been sacks. But he got credit for 1 sack. But it was enough to convince the coaching staff to say, oh, hey, who is this dude? Who is this guy right here? I want to see more. That is how you impress coaches. Right there. Make the most out of your reps. Become the next Effie Obata. And these coaches may give you another shot. And they may want to see more. I've got about 5 or 6 players on this roster right now that I can see could become the next Effie Obata. But you got to show me. You got to show this whole team. You got to show this whole coaching staff that you're willing to go the distance and push yourself further. This is what this game is at the NFL level. You either want it or you don't. So let's find out. Hall of Fame game tomorrow. Who's ready? I'm amped. First football game in 5 months. I want to see what these guys can do. I got my hands on a Bryce Young mini helmet signed. And I love it. Thank you to the guy that sold me these mini helmets at the Southeast Game Exchange. DJ Moore, Sam Darnold, all of these guys, man. CMC on here. Oh, thank you so much, man. What a gift, dude. JJ Jensen on here. Yeah, this is cool. And a few other players that we don't know about, you know? So, I'm always excited to get my hands on Panthers merch, you know, game exchanges and stuff like that. So, shout out to you. Shout out to the gentleman that I met at that game exchange. I forget your name, but you your wife had created some stuff that you were trying to sell on the table. I forget exactly what it was. But we had a good long 15-minute conversation and just I was gonna promote your business, but I lost your card, um, regrettably. But I think if he knows who he's talking to, if he knows that I'm talking about him, let me know in the comment section. You know, in this stream or in the chat at some point. You know, or one of my live streams. Just come in, say hi, let yourself be heard, let yourself be seen. Any of you that I've met that I said I was going to shout out, you know, come and chat, say hi, you know, during games, reactions, whatever, you know, even if it's a gaming stream or a music podcast, come say hi. You know, I'll shout you out. And I'll show you that love and promote your business. Let me know the name of your business as well, you know, if you want me to promote it for free. I'll be happy to do it, you know, especially if you're a Panthers fan, please reach out and let me know. I would love to do that for free and promote you. I'll check out your business. I'll see what it's all about, you know, and if I like it, I'll promote it. You know, that's my pleasure, you know, because we're always trying to lift each other up, man. You know what I mean? And I'm a businessman at heart, and I love showing love and and respect towards businesses, especially Panther fans' businesses. You know, that want that promotion. So let me know. We also do prayer requests on this channel too. So if you got a prayer request or a good vibe request, please drop it into the chat or let me know about it. You know, unless we're doing game reactions, then we can't exactly stop the game to reaction to do that. So, but any other stream, yes, we can do that. Please drop those. Right now, our thoughts and prayers are with Carol, our channel co-founder, and with a few other people that are dealing with various illnesses and issues. You know, thoughts and prayers to all of you, and I hope you use the keep pounding mantra to push through whatever you're dealing with. Because we all know it's not just for football, it's for a life. You know, it's for life. It's for whatever you need it for. So, I guess that's it for content for this game. We appreciate you guys. My prediction is we're going to win this game over the Cardinals in Hall of Fame. And we're going to win it for Luke Kuechly. I'm going to say 23-20. Assuming the play calling is good enough. So, we'll see, guys. We'll see. See you guys tomorrow. Game starts at 8. We will be live at 7:30 in preparation of the game. And Blitz will be joining us. So, looking forward to that. He'll be live as well, so it'll be a dual stream as usual. So, thank you guys for all the support. We love you guys. I apologize, I'm just tired, and I also apologize for being late for this stream. Blitz was not able to join us due to him having to rest up and get better. But he'll be with us tomorrow. So I kind of set my own time as far as when this stream would happen. So the next stream that you'll see is either a FanFest review stream tomorrow or the game stream at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set your clocks. Don't miss it. Hall of Fame game. Honoring the great Luke Kuechly. Hey, we love you guys, man. And we love Larry Fitzgerald too. Congratulations to Larry Fitzgerald. What an honor to show love to him too. You know, I loved his story and him watching him in a Cardinals uniform too. So, all right, guys. That's about all I've got for you. If there's any other training camp stuff, we will post the update soon in a live stream. Live stream update stream or whatever we want to call it. But if it's big enough news, we'll drop it along with some clips and whatnot. So we'll do press conferences. We'll catch up, you know. So if there's a live, we'll react to it. We'll do some clips from it. We'll react to those as well. So whatever we want to do, you know, that'll be happening soon. So training camp, Hall of Fame game, let's get it. All right, guys. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all of you, comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding it all caps for in-game post polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, such as scheduling for the channel and for the Irish Sports app. Keep pounding Fantasy Football League, which will be happening. I'll be starting that journey of fantasy football stuff right around mid-August. Contacting everybody that's going to get involved with that. So be ready for that if you are involved in that game. Also, the follows that I got and the new subs. Thank you guys so much for the new subs. On YouTube, we appreciate you. We have reached 700 subscribers. 700, ladies and gents. That's a big number from when we started. And I was having conversations with Brandon and all them, you know, like how all this started and just watching it become 700 subs and where we are now is incredible. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. This community is amazing. And it's filled with great people. All 700 of you. Even if some of you are bots. But we appreciate you. All the new followers on Facebook, thank you. All the new followers on Twitch, we appreciate you as well. Scottish Plays DBL, I think I shouted him out on Twitch. Cast Engines, and I did get Cumberdog. Yeah, so shout out to y'all on Twitch. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, we'll be back 7:30 tomorrow night, if not sooner. Much love to you. If you like the intro you see on your screen, go check out Lindara Ty on Instagram using her last name first, Ty, T-A-I .Lindara, L-I-N-D-A-R-A, for in-game post polls, for videos, panels, etc., you know, to enhance your streaming experience. Shout out to all the other YouTubers out there. 2020, Pat Coltrane, C3, Panthers Prime Podcast, all them. Shout out to all those. Blitzball Champ, under our umbrella streamers. Go give them a shout out. Go give them some love. One love among streamers and podcasters, man. One love. Shout out to Jeffrey Stamper. Shout out to David Screws in the chat today. Speaking your mind. Shout out to Vinny's Pizza out in DeWitt, Georgia. DeWitt, best pizza in the Southeast. Don't just take my word for it. Try it yourself. And Monster Sub and Grub out in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Get yourself a tasty sub on game day. And as of now, it is officially game day. Get hyped. All right. We'll see you soon. Stay happy, healthy, and well, folks. You already know what time it is. It's game time, baby. Keep pounding. This is another edition of the Keep Pounding podcast. Row, row, row. Keep pounding. Peace.